here, Landline. Welcome to Landline, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Claire.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Inga Headland. I'm your host with my co-host. Oh, thank you.
I can't tell this is working or not. I think it's fine.
Eric, is it working? Thank you. This is my co-host, Claire Brandon.
Yoo-hoo.
I noticed last time you had your body angled very well toward the cameras. I did not, so I'm trying to work on doing that better.
Well, I also have started dressing worse from the waist down since we moved into this room.
Yeah.
So I'll just scooch under here.
Perfect. First thing I want to do, guys, we have mugs. This is really exciting. And the number's on it, 615-212-5437. So if you feel like calling in today, give us a call. We're here to have conversations about anything that you want, really.
How much are those mugs? Aren't they like $1?
They're really cheap.
They're
Actually,
so cheap.
Okay, real talk. So my mom bought one, and I got charged money, and I was like, what is happening? And Printful, the thing I like do it through, they were like, I think you misunderstand how this works. They pay money, and then you pay us to make it, and you make a profit of 0.04 cents.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So literally it's like $0.
Amazing.
But it's all about getting it out.
Marketing.
Yep.
Buy a mug.
But I was like, guys, my mom bought it. I didn't buy it. Why are you charging me? And they were like, I don't think you understand how commerce works.
You wrote them? Oh my God.
Someone named Josue wrote me back and was like, let me exchange.
Did you read the agreement? You're like, no.
He's like, have you ever been on a website before? Okay, so today's topic is petty theft.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that the first stab of this episode got canceled by a tornado. Because I wanted to be here.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I mean, that was crazy. So, I mean, the fact that literally we were sitting here ready to go, I had a different co-host, Devin.
Yeah, I was not here.
Yeah. And it was like 5, 4, and then one of the people just came in. They were like, "We're out. Everyone leave."
Oof.
I know. So happily we could reschedule, and so now it's petty theft again. So we actually have some voicemails. Some were left at the original call date. I think that was the 2nd, and then another one. We got another one in the meantime. And if anyone wants to call in, the idea is, petty crime, man, it's got its place in society. However, I also think landline can serve in getting America's youth off the street.
No, okay.
So I thought about this when our friend Caroline texted us.
Yeah.
I was like, my car's been broken into again.
Yeah.
And like, real talk, East Nashville.
Hot take. Let's hear it.
Like, okay, I was just watching some like Instagram song about Nashville, and when it got to the like different boroughs, it was like East Nashville, get some coffee with some crime on the side. It was like not untrue.
Not untrue.
Yeah. So apparently there are like these hoodlums who just go around asterisk that word.
Yeah, I'm like, are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, and like there are these ding-dongs who are going around East Nashville who, like, I don't know, 6 months ago there were 72 car break-ins in one night.
Wild.
Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
And the police were like, we've got no leads.
Yeah, they're just like, good luck.
Yeah.
Leave your car unlocked.
Like, you know, at one point I remember seeing something surfacing on social that was like someone's Ring camera, and it was of the 4 dudes breaking in, and they were still like, well, we have nothing to go on. It's like, is this the Old West? I don't understand.
You did get an offender bender, and it took them 2 hours to arrive.
I know, that was where you're like, what else are you guys working on?
So I think the eclipse really fucked us.
Yeah. They were just like, guys, we're
overloaded.
Yeah. Okay. So our friend Caroline followed their advice and just left her car unlocked. So they just went and stole a bunch of stuff.
Again?
No, I'm catching our listeners up. And
Okay.
so she wrote us this, and she was like, guys, they're at it again. Be careful. Don't lock your cars and don't keep anything important.
Again.
So that's when I was like, all right, well, let's do a petty crime thing. Because one, I think a lot of people do petty crime because they're bored. And so, hey, enter a landline. America, give us a call. We'll talk to you. There are other things to do with your time. Mm-hmm. Also, it made me start reflecting on all the petty crime I've committed in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What qualifies as petty crime?
Anything that is like, I would say, breaking the rules, like attempts to evade the police, but nothing where you start getting into like support group territory.
Sure.
Or where it's like any of the things that I thought of, I don't mind saying on public access, and I don't mind my nieces and nephews hearing.
Yeah, sure.
Like their parents might mind them hearing, but like I'm okay with someone at my funeral knowing this about me.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I've told all of these things to the Chief Justice of the United States.
Which is insane and an isolated incident. No one else can say that.
And I'm still walking around. So it's like, okay, so that's petty crime. That's like, all right, it's not like if you say stuff like I stole lipsticks or like I stole from the mill.
The mill?
The till.
Love my local mill.
I mean, who can resist a mill, man?
In my mind, it's like theft, like
yes,
sticky fingies theft.
Yes.
Like streaking.
Ooh, yes, 100%. That counts.
Like low grade vandalism.
Yes,
and like trespassing.
Yes.
Great, I qualify.
Excellent. Yeah.
4 out of 4.
You can get like more creative if you want.
Oh, great. Yeah, I want your loopholes because that's where I feel like you may have thought of things through more than I did.
Yeah, I was taught more stuff. That's okay. Great. So wait, you start. Tell me first.
Well, which category?
Any one, babe. You can start. World's your oyster.
World's your oyster.
I know. I was like, did any of that make sense?
I don't know. I love stealing things. I definitely am like a klepto. I'm a recovering klepto.
That's crazy to me.
And I didn't really know it about myself until my roommate in New York saw me at a bodega and I had taken a Snapple. And like we were buying sandwiches. But I just wanted to get away with something. And she was like, "Are you stealing a Snapple?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Hardcore.
And then I was like, oh my God, no, someone's never seen me do this that I knew. And then she liked it. This became a pattern. And so then it was something we started to do together, like rarely. But probably like once a year, I would be like, I'm just going to take that.
Oh my God. First of all,
so there's like quite a few. On the way here, I was like, maybe I just say once there was a time.
No, I love this.
Instead of like specific.
My favorite thing about this is that it was a Snapple, because didn't those have like inspirational quotes underneath?
Yeah, and it's the loudest thing in the store to open.
Like, so if you steal a Snapple, it's like, be kind to your brethren underneath.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, fuck
and I'm
this.
like, I love this. I love Snapple.
I'm so glad I stole this wisdom.
for your service. Yeah. No, I love snooping. I love stealing. I've done it since I was like 8.
Man, really?
Yeah. From like my mom's best friend. I didn't know it was a big deal. I'm telling you, I was so ready for this topic.
I'm so excited. If I'm quiet, it's not because I'm judging you. I'm taking this in because I cannot believe it. Like,
well, and like, why?
Like, I can't believe it.
We're not looking at the camera at all. Hi. No, yeah, well, she's basically like my second mom. I didn't understand makeup, but I always wanted to be an adult. And so one time I was at their house, and so I went into like all of her cabinets and was like, "What do you got in here?"
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that's abnormal behavior or not, but I love doing that shit. Just what do you got? I want to know. And she had all these tiny makeup things, like eyeshadow and tiny concealers, everything was tiny. So I was like, oh, this is free. Like it was free for her, so I'll just take it. It's under here in like a bag within a bag. She'll never know it's gone.
Right.
And, like, within a week. And it, like, I'd never got in trouble for it. The way that it, like, came back to me, because I was, like, young. I was probably 8, 12. I don't know. And at some point, I think she called my mom and was like, hey, can you ask Claire if she's seen, like, because you know some really expensive makeup is like $50 for like 3 swipes of eyeshadow? Yes. It was all like Estee Lauder, and I just didn't know anything. Yeah. I was like, this is tiny. I'm tiny. I'll have it. And
it's Claire sized.
Yeah, and I took like a lot of money worth of makeup and was just like, I just wanted it. I never used it. I just wanted it in a drawer. You know, I was just like, this goes here.
Oh my gosh.
So it started really young. And then, yeah, I would search high and low for my Christmas presents. Got caught doing that too. I was like on a ladder in a closet, like, oh. And my mom was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, nothing. Yeah, I just love being a little creep.
I love it. Wait, I definitely had an aunt that I thought was like so glamorous, and so I would, like, I'd forgotten about this until you were just describing that, but the makeup thing and it being like little treasures. I had an Aunt Sky, and she always was like the most feminine of all my relatives, and like had all of these beautiful things, and it's like, I'm trying. Like,
just the touch.
Yeah, I would take a little bit more than was acceptable.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I did have, you know, I don't know. There was basically a second grandma who lived in Nashville, and she had like a beauty counter full of stuff. Yeah. And she was loaded. So she would like send me home with things. So I think I was just like, same.
Yeah, you're like, obviously this is for me.
And then it was like, no.
Like, you can't just take my stuff.
No. She works. And she bought that.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so
what's your favorite petty crime?
So my first one is going to be when I started like this underground crime ring in high school.
Okay.
So I was on my high school was on a campus where it was a closed campus. So once you got there for the day, you couldn't leave, even if you had free periods. Yeah.
How'd they close it?
Like, there was a guy named like Bobo the cop who sat at the main entrance. The only thing I knew about him, there was lots of like legends going around, and one was that he shot himself with a gun, which is why he wasn't allowed to have one. No. I mean, this is not a sympathetic character. This guy's like,
no, this sounds bad.
This is not.
This doesn't sound like
everyone,
the guard of a school at all.
Like, where it's just like real weird dude. So everyone, would try to come up with like ways of sneaking out. Like, people would go in other people's trunks, and like, it was just, So one time, I don't remember why, but I got in school suspension. And I was like, this is outrageous. This is a miscarriage of justice. I don't remember if it was because I was caught and accused of smoking cigarettes in the bathroom or if it was for sneaking off campus. I did both of those things. But I could not believe that they didn't believe me when I said I didn't.
Okay.
I was like, how dare you? And this was like at the time before, like, video cameras. So I was like,
I know. I'm like, how would they have known the parking lot thing? Smoking in bathrooms makes me laugh. Because it smells so bad.
It's so obvious. And like, you come out and there's like a cloud around you.
Yeah.
And the assistant dean was standing there, and I came out and she was like, you need to come to the office. I said, why? She was like, because you were smoking in the bathroom. And I was like, no, I wasn't. She was like, yes, you were. And I was like, no, I wasn't. Like, putting the cigarette out, it's like still coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, you smell disgusting.
Yeah, and she was like, a student just went in there, saw you smoking, and came back out and told me. And I was like, well,
Who was she?
Right. I was like, that bitch can go down.
Yeah, who was that?
She was older and more popular than me. So I was like, damn it. I know. I was like, so I end up in school suspension, and I am just like, yeah. So I'm just fuming. I can't believe it. It means I have to sit in the dean's office all day, just sit there. And every time someone comes in, they're like, "Oh, do you have in schools?" It's like sitting in like a dunce. Yes. So
sticky fingies.
So at one point, I look over and I see on her desk is a packet of off-school campus passes.
You had a female dean?
She was the assistant dean, a dude dean.
Rats.
But I know.
Again,
but straight to. But they each had the same, like, to get off campus, what you needed was an off-campus pass. Yeah. And either one of them could sign it. And it was like, oh, she needs to get like a hysterectomy or something. Sure. And they would sign it and give it to you and you could leave. And that's what Bobo the cop would ask for. He was like, let me see your off-campus pass. And you were like, got it. So I was sitting there, and at one point, both deans left the room. And I was like, it's only fair. And I just took the whole thing and put it in my bag.
A stack.
Uh-huh. And I took one of the stacks, like a stack of 100 or something, that had a signature. And I like just watched Usual Suspects or Big Lebowski or something. So I was like, all right, I can see that there's enough of an imprint of their signature, so I can repeat it. So I start just making myself off-campus passes because I was like, I don't know what the checking system is.
Yeah, counterfeit. Let's rip it.
Right. Like, let's just do it. I'll see when I get caught. I'll just be like, I didn't make that. Like denial is just my go-to. Or just be like, I don't understand.
I did not do that.
I did not do that. So what ended up happening is word got around and people would be like, I hear you can get people off campus.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's going to cost you. So
right. This is the underground. What'd you call it? Underground
crime ring.
Crime ring. Yep.
And so I was the person you saw to get, like, I heard you could get people out of here.
Oh my God, you're like this tall. Incredible.
Yep. And I came by that honest because I was taught loopholes from the very beginning when I was little.
From who?
I had an uncle, Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike?
Uh-huh. Uncle Mike was awesome.
Sounds like it.
R.I.P. He was a badass. He was my favorite uncle. He only went to jail once.
Great.
But for, like, considering how much stuff he did, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Ended up, by the time he passed away, he was like a pillar of the community, right? So he, like, all of his kids, I don't think any of them know any of these stories. And they found out, like, he had, like, a felony record, and they were like, what? Because this is all sort of his past life.
Oh, interesting.
So he had gotten divorced from his first wife and had a daughter named Dana. Dana, me, and my big sister, we were like 3 peas in a pod. And all of our parents were like, we don't know how to raise children. So we all lived in one house together. We had a triple bunk bed.
What?
Leslie was on the top, Dana was in the middle, I was on the bottom. And we lived in a two-bedroom house. And there were 5 kids and 3 adults.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tag team.
Yep. And Uncle Mike was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
He just slept on the couch and was like, I got a beard. He was just, it was awesome. And so he was going through a dark time. So
yeah. That's, as an adult, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Right? But like my little brother was sleeping in a drawer. Like,
oh, this is the drawer.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Like, it was, like, dark.
Yeah, but at the time, it's like, wee!
Right, triple bunk bed. Meanwhile, Leslie said every night she'd go to bed on the top one, and she was like, Inga's going to die tonight, because I was on the bottom one.
Just
So, we end up, so Uncle Mike so he was just always having a blast to me. I don't know, I have no idea if he had, like, booze issues, because, like, to me, he was the most fun uncle.
Yeah.
So
he did a great job.
I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he was in that place where he was always trying to make it up to his daughter that they'd gotten divorced. So he let her kind of get and do everything.
Yeah.
But always on the cheap. So it was like cheap plastic toys up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Like anything that video games, like when they first came out, was like like Mario Brothers. Like anytime something first came out and Dana would have it. And we were like, can we look at it with you? And she was like, don't touch me. Like,
what a sweet thing. Yeah, you're just like, can I watch you open that?
Yes. Like, it was before that became like a YouTube thing.
We did it IRL.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So.
That's dark.
One of my first memories is Uncle Mike. He had a red pickup truck that he had missed payments on, and so it was in repossession. And so the repo man would drive by trying to get it. And so
trying to get
it. And Uncle Mike figured out. Uncle Mike figured out, if I just park it in the dealership lot, they won't think to look there. So he would come home late from work, park it in the lot, walk home. That night, the repo man would drive by, looking for his car, and Uncle Mike would be inside just laughing. It's in your lot, man. Go back. Uncle Mike would wake up early in the morning before the dealership opens, gets back in, drives to work. Just did this every day.
For how long?
Indefinitely, as far as I know. I would say he was still doing it today if I hadn't been to his funeral.
Oh my God!
Best part about
how do we follow up on this?
Right?
I want to follow up.
Best part about this story is that because we all knew something was happening but didn't really get what it was.
Sure.
Dana, Leslie, and I would be looking out the window to see, kids wait for the trash truck to go by.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s when you have no money and nothing to do.
Yeah.
So we would look out the window for the Weepo man. Because it was it's the Weepo man.
Oh my God.
So they would drive by and see three kids
hey, are you looking for me?
Exactly.
I'm waiting.
Thinking from an adult perspective, that repo driver must have been like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're it's got to be that house.
I know you have the car.
It's that house.
And three kids every time being hello!
Just being absolutely hazed. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yep. And then my final thing was, I remember I have a cousin, Michaela, who I don't think you met. She came and visited here once. She's awesome. She's a doll. You'll meet her at some point.
You have so much family.
I know, it's too much. Irish Catholics. Just breed forever.
Long live.
Yeah. So Michaela came to visit once. Or no, I'm sorry. That's not the story. So Michaela and I are tight because I used to babysit her all the time. And she was maybe 7 when I was going into senior year of high school or something like that.
Okay.
So big age difference. I knew, much like now, I have no boundaries. So I was I would be having a meltdown about my high school career with her as she was I'm 7. So we'd sit on the front porch and I'd just be chain smoking.
Yeah.
And she was playing with her doll. And I'd be like, I gotta tell you, I'm so mad at my friend at school. And I would just be talking about how you could never trust boys. And I was talk about how I had this best friend who was sort of a friend of me, and I would be like, Daisy's not talking to me again. And it would be all the drama. I just said that, and for real, I just got nervous. I'm still scared of Daisy a little bit.
That makes sense.
So then I was but one of the things I taught her was, okay, here's what you do. Vicky, where she's I am a sippy cup. And I was
she's 7.
I mean, I don't know. Too little for this.
Yeah.
I was okay, so here's what happens when the cops come. When you're at a party and the cops come, don't make the mistake my little sister just did.
Okay.
I was don't turn yourself in. Rookie move. Don't go and try and hide. You will always be found. And what was the other thing I said? Don't go to your car. What you do, you run to the woods. And she's this is not applicable to my life in any way. And I was
I can barely run.
Right. And I was you run to the woods. But meanwhile,
terrifying.
She was totally on board where she was cool.
Yeah.
So years later, I forgot about all of this until suddenly it's prom night or something for her. And her mom's talking to her and was okay, so Mickey, just remember, no matter what. And Mickey's trying to get out the door. And she was yes, I know, run to the woods.
That's amazing.
I know. And her mom was no, I was gonna call me if you need a ride, if there are drugs, if there's drinking. She's I know, run to the woods.
Aw.
I know, I felt really proud.
Take me back.
Yep. So we have we come from a long line of petty crime.
Oh, Long line.
Except for that Uncle Mike actually went to jail.
Long line over here. Yeah, I had an Uncle Cotton who also went to jail.
Wait, his name was Cotton?
Sure was.
Nice. I forget that you're like real South.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I always wanted to have a Southern friend.
Just a lawless experience before I came. Absolutely lawless. And then we like heard a lot about those stories, and then so my brother and I were just like, oh, so we can do a lot of that too.
Yes.
And like I kind of love it, or I definitely loved it at the time, and now I'm like question mark. But yeah, my dad gave us a lot of ideas.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised.
And then I would just hang out with my brother and his friends and drag my friends into it. And we'd go steal signs and all kinds of shit.
Okay, that was the thing my little sister did, and she got caught because she tried to run away, like down the street, and then halfway through was like panicked and froze.
What kind of sign she steal?
It was like a vote for Ding Dong sign.
Boo, bad choice.
Mm-hmm. And like it was like the one time she ever broke the rules. She was the one who always followed the rules. And where my mom was like, "This is just unfair. Inga breaks the rules all. She's running a crime ring." And Audrey was like, "I want to see how this feels," and immediately was like, "Whoop whoop."
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of. Well, no, I was crazy. I was not crazy, but I did like. I do have an adrenaline junkie thing.
Yeah.
We threw water balloons at cars in Florida on spring break, which apparently a lot of people do.
I had a friend who did that in college, but she wouldn't do it to cars. She'd do it to people who were pledging sororities.
Oh, that's funny. I wish I had done that.
It was really bad. She did it once and accidentally hit a frat group, so like a bunch of dudes. And oh, no. This is how it went. Vicky, I'm going to mess up this story. So if you're watching, you should call and tell it better. It was that there was a homeless guy who always hung out in front of our house because Vicky would always give him the keg to return for the deposit to get back because she didn't want to have to carry it back. I know. We're very, thinking about the community, man.
Yin and yang.
Bring it back to landline. Call in now, 615.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so... So she gave one of the water balloons to the homeless dude sitting in front. I'm not going to say the urban living thing. So the homeless... Okay, it's fine. You can choose to do that, and people can holler in and call in, 615.
The urban living is funny.
So anyway, she gives him the water balloon, and that's right. This is how the story went. So a big group of, like, chachi dudes walks by, and she was like... She's with her friends, and they're like, okay, no, don't throw it. Like, it'll just start a huge fight, whatever. Homeless dude throws it, pelts them. Yes. They look up, see my friend and all of her friends, and they're like, we're going to kick your ass. And they're like, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. He did it. And they point to the homeless dude, and the homeless dude just starts pretending he's crazy.
Incredible. I love this whole scene.
And Vicky was like, that's bullshit, Bill. That's bullshit.
He sold you out.
Yeah, she was like, no more kegs for you, Bill. But we still gave it to him because we were too lazy.
Yeah, I like that swap.
Yeah.
We hit a cop car.
What? Oh, with a water balloon.
With a water balloon. We hit a cop car with a water balloon. I didn't know this, but all the guys I was with were drunk.
Oh, were you?
And no.
Oh.
And I just liked getting into it and like trying to be around my brother's cute friends. So I was just like, neener, like, let's go.
Wait, is your brother older?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years older. And so we were just hiding in bushes watching them do it. And then they hit a cop car, and almost immediately it like spun around and was like, because it's spring break.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just prime time.
Yep.
And we super almost got arrested. I was terrified because I was probably, it was their senior year. So I was 16, and we had... It was like such a moment in my life, which is so funny. But I was like, this is in my movie of like, there were probably 15 of us like on the line of this place where we had rented a house, and the cops come, they turn around. We're next to like an RV park. We're jumping over fences, hide behind an RV. The cops like following us all throughout Like we're just like scatter kind of thing. And like all of these guys are about to go to college for sports.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's myself and my friend Grace, who's a dancer and this big. And I can't, there was a third because we were all three hugging. It must have been Catherine. And so there's the three of us, just have no idea what's going on. Stone cold sober, terrified out of our minds, hiding behind an RV. All the guys have left that we know of.
Yeah.
And we're just in this RV park in Florida. Didn't throw anything, down for a good time. And then eventually the cop like has his flashlight looking underneath all the RVs, and we're like, what if he sees our
under the RVs? Good Lord.
Yeah, he was like trying to
invested.
get us. He was pissed. And we were like, this is how it ends. Like, what's going on? So anyways, at some point he gets back in his car and we hear this voice that's like, okay, get over the fence. And we're like, okay. And so we climb and fall over this fence, and we just start like trying to run. And then the two black guys that were with us come out of the woods and are like, get on my back. And we're just like, ah! And get on their back. And they just like, like all the way into this Florida
woods, man. You go to
the
woods. You always go to the woods.
You go to the woods.
People in the know, no.
Go to the woods.
Yep.
Anyways, hopped on their backs. They got us home. And as soon as we shut the door, we spun around in the cop car past the front of the house.
No way.
I will never forget the feeling of just being like hopping on Jabari's back and being like, oh, like I really hope I don't get expelled. Like, oh my God.
He sounds awesome.
He's the best.
Do you still know him?
Yes.
Does he still give piggyback rides?
Probably.
He sounds incredible.
He's amazing. You would love him.
Nice. All right. Well, that's on the to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he live here?
No.
Okay.
I actually don't know where he lives right now. He was in the Navy, and then he left the Navy, and then he got a new job, like in Virginia. So I haven't seen him in a minute.
Okay. It's a Jabari. If you're watching,
Jabari Tawani.
And let us know what you're up to.
I'm going to send him this, and he's going to be like, what am I watching?
Right. You're famous with all two people who watch the show.
Hooty hoo.
So you watched Empire Records.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. It's so good. I was like, I kind of there's a younger part of me that has a hard time watching movies like that because I'm like, I belonged in a record store.
Yes. Yeah.
Or like I just remember like feeling like I was coming of age late in my 20s, like being in New York and being like, no. Like I was supposed to be the weirdo in the Lower East Side vintage shop who's just like, what can I get you? You know, like that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. I worked at like a monogram store in Brentwood. And so when I watch those movies and she's just like shaving her head and they're just like rocking out, I'm just like, I got fired from a monogram store and this guy shoots up the place and gets hired. This is where I belong. Yeah, so good. I love it.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you like. Okay, honestly, when I was recommending it to you, were you like, I'm never gonna watch this movie?
No.
You like were planning on watching it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I had it pulled up on my computer for like 2 weeks.
Because usually, because I'm the kind of person that when people recommend movies to me, I'm like, I'm never gonna watch that. Like,
no, I love watching what people like.
Okay, that's actually good to know. Because I like never recommend stuff, so if I do, it's because I like actually really love it.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you liked it.
I loved it.
And this is my problem with watching anything is that I don't understand that there's a difference between something on the screen in real life.
I do not. I simply don't. That's why I get so like I can't watch scary stuff because I'm like,
oh, it could happen.
Yeah.
And by could I mean it is currently happening right now in my basement.
Moi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I remember when I saw that movie, I was obsessed with Gina She was the one who, she's like Renee Zellweger's character.
Yes.
So like I realized watching that, that's when I first got in love with big cars.
Yeah, I saw that car and was like, oh, duh.
That's why I bought Zelda.
Why did you like her character?
I think because I felt like I wasn't accomplished enough to be the like ingenue character, the Liv Tyler character.
Yeah.
But I was like, the character, Gina. I felt like Gina did everything that I wanted to do.
Sure.
Like
unbridled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, so I remember one time when I worked at Baskin Robbins. Nope.
Did you do the apron?
Yes.
That is what I was thinking about. I was like, God.
Yeah.
Such a visceral feeling, like watching girls your age behave that way and just being like, I'm going to have to kill you.
Yeah.
I cannot access that part of myself.
Yeah.
And it looks like a good time.
Yeah. Nope. I did that. It was Ben and Jerry's. I did that. Yep.
So cold.
Yeah. Not when you're
working.
Yeah, and probably stoned. I don't know. I mean, it was not a clean shop.
Did you work while like how long were you in just the apron?
Yeah, no, I think it was me and one other girl. We did it, and like because I remember I honestly have a pretty blurry memory of the day, but I remember being up on the counter and music playing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Did you get fired?
No, because
God, you didn't have cameras.
Well, also Cheryl ran it, and Cheryl was an insane woman who's like clearly a meth addict. And
amazing.
Ran like a weird like porn channel in the back room that none of us were allowed to go into. And yeah, she was real weird. But this actually
Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl was real sketchy, and we were like, we don't need to talk, just make sure I get paid. And she was like, I don't want to talk to you either. And like she had real like the snaggle teeth of like a heroin user, where you're like, are you shooting up at work? I guess it doesn't matter.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter.
And then but I remember like we had a guy who would get fired every day and come back. Parker.
See?
Yep.
That is creme de la creme.
Like every day he would get too stoned or like on shrooms. He would call her Sherry.
Parker.
And he'd be like, come on, Sherry. And she was like, it's Cheryl. And he was like, Sherry, give me a break, man, Sherry. And she was like, you are fired. You are fired, Parker. And Parker would always be giving away free, like ice cream for free for drugs. And like,
yeah, Parker
just got caught, like mid-transition. Yeah, and she was like, that's it. You're out of here. And he was like, Sherry.
Sherry.
And then just came in the next day, and she was like, all right, everyone clock in, like no accountability.
And he was just back on.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
So here's what I think. I feel like I am determined to still capture some aspect of that in my life. Like, I feel like, okay, so maybe committing petty crime is not ideal.
Right.
I feel like I don't want to wear an apron in a cold ice cream place anymore.
No, that sounds so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being uncomfortable. I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember being up there and being like, is this worth it?
Well, it's just great that you were just like, there's just so many different thoughts that go through my head now. I can't go back.
I know. Well, so I'm like, okay, so one of the things when I first got sober, like the very first time I got sober, I remember saying something. I was dating this dude, and I said something like sketchy. And by that, I mean, I said something that was basically a lie. And he said, I thought you were in recovery for this. And I was like, no, that's not part of it.
Oh.
And I didn't realize, being honest is part of like not being a fall down drunk ding dong.
Sure.
That was harder for me than anything else.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Wait, I don't get to just lie all the time anymore?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much.
I'm like yeah. The conscience, it's such a bummer because I loved just like fucking shit up.
Yes, like that was so.
Yeah, I
like,
loved
that's
it.
how I felt alive. Where it's like, wait, you can take the booze, you can take the drugs, don't take my freedom.
Yeah, honestly, it really feels like, oh, just getting away with it.
Yes,
just getting away with something, not just stealing something, but like trespassing or like
sometimes if a biker
peeing outside,
yes,
like anything. That's something you can get away with. Yes, you're just like, sorry, I really had to go.
Yeah, now you're a sex offender.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when a biker goes by, I go like this a little bit. Only if I'm in a really bad mood. Not now that I'm sober. I used to do it a lot when I wasn't.
Did they ever fall over?
I don't know. I wore headphones a lot. So I don't think so. I'm sure they're all fine.
This doesn't affect your ability to see if they go whoosh.
Oh,
after.
behind me. Like, I'd be walking. It's like.
Oh my God.
Like, not great. I was not a great person.
That's vindictive.
Yeah. No, I didn't like when people were close to me, and I felt like they should know better than to be close. Like,
yeah.
I had a very self-righteous point of view.
Oh, I mean, I did that kind of thing in New York, but that also comes not to bikers, but like, I don't know.
You say in Europe?
No, in New York. But that's a moot point because that's just like you're gonna run into people.
Yeah. That's like that is kind of par for the course. But,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved ding dong ditching. I loved. I didn't really love streaking that much, but I loved that like my house was the one that you could do it at. People would just like run up and down the street because we had one street light. And then one day our neighbors called us and they're like, hey, we have some kids' pajamas in our mailbox. And we were like, Macy, your t-shirt's over there. Like, you gotta go get that. I just loved it. It felt like the old times just because I just heard so much from my parents about just like the insane shit that they would do because they lived in bumfuck nowhere.
Yep.
Just like accidentally lighting a whole bag of fireworks off inside a car.
Yeah.
And like you could take the key out of the ignition and it would just still run. Just where you're just like, oh, this is. And the driver's name is Moose. And you're like, oh, like that's just what I grew up listening to. So it was like, oh, but I'm entitled to that experience.
Right. Where is mine?
And then it's like, no, you're going to get detention for chewing gum. And I'm like,
this is some bullshit.
This is not the same.
Oh my God, as we're talking, I just remembered something else I did. There was a kid I didn't like. I actually feel really guilty about this one. There was a kid I didn't like in high school, so I peed in a cup and left it in his mailbox.
We had an unhoused man do that to us.
What?
I mean, I don't think it was intentional, but he like lived in our little alleyway, or not our alleyway. What's the thing in New York? Like you have one door mailboxes, another door, apartments. That space.
Oh, the mailroom.
Sure. The little entry mailroom thing.
Yeah.
The front door was unlocked.
Yeah.
The apartment door was not locked. Was locked.
Yeah.
So he would hang out in there during storms. And so whenever it stormed, our mailbox door was broken. We'd come out and there'd be a bottle of like orange tea.
Oh.
Not good.
Yeah.
Do we need to listen to her voice?
Oh, yeah. Let's check it out. Oh, my gosh. We've been talking. This is like a really long episode.
How long is that?
So far, we've been talking.
I told you I love crime.
I feel great about this.
I don't like murder. I don't like sexual assault. Don't come with Law and Order SVU. I watched a couple episodes and I still have nightmares.
Me too.
I like fun people doing dumb shit. Like I'm like problematic boy in girl form. That's just like what?
Oh my God, me too.
I'm just trying to have a good time. I wanted the stop sign for my playroom. It's just that.
I didn't know it was illegal.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought if I didn't know, it couldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go.
Hey, yeah, my brother, I wanted to talk about, my brother kept stealing fishing lures from Walmart, and they built up a case against him. He owed like $40,000, and they brought him into the office and they said, you can either go to jail or you can work at Walmart for $11 an hour. And so now he's in indentured servitude.
He's in what services?
Indentured servitude. Awesome. Dude, that's awesome. I mean,
really
it's not,
hard.
but that's really funny.
It's hard to not steal from giant stores where you're like,
I'm like amazed I never did that.
Not going to notice.
Yeah.
Self-checkout, me and my girlfriends are like, self-checkout is king. For previous self, it was like, lots of tips of the trade.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Okay, next call.
I sit like a shrimp.
I haven't changed my car tag since 2019.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And impossible. You would definitely get a ticket here.
Wait, are they big on that here?
I don't know. I got a ticket for
you
parking
came in so hot on that one. Now I don't know.
That's 6 years, and I feel like often, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if that first digit is not consistent.
Yeah.
If it's a 1 and not a 2, they're like, boop, boop.
I really like your cop sound. Boop, boop.
All right.
This is off topic, but I don't believe in food poisoning.
In food poisoning? I beg to disagree.
My fiance would agree with you.
What?
Yeah.
What does he think is happening?
I think...
Oh my God, we should let a bunch of stuff expire and do like hot ones but expired foods for Seth and just see what happens and be like, what do you think now? You're so sick. Yeah. Why does he not believe in that?
I mean, like, he hasn't said that exactly, but he doesn't seem to really think people get sick. Like, when I tell him someone's sick, he's like, he always goes, it's okay. I'm like, what? Like,
He must love us.
I know!
Like I'm chronically ill.
I'm always sick. Where I was like, so do you do that behind my back? And he said, like, no, I love you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah. Does that have a time limit?
Okay. Last one.
Hey, it's your brother. I figured you'd out me whether I said anything or not. So I have a story of petty theft, which involves people you know. So we used to go to this place called Franklin's down in, I guess it was Hyattsville, which you can enlighten our audience for. It's basically, it's like it was a nice little dining spot, classic American, but it had like little knickknacks that you could purchase in the front of the store. And I went there with our friends. I'll protect their names, but I'll say that it was Mr. and Mrs. R, who Inga will know who those people are. And long story short, we went there and I found a little spaceman that I'm sure had a net value of $1.99 at most. Probably it was more like 75 cents. And I put it in my pocket, thinking that, okay, I'll just see if maybe Mr. R or Mrs. R would consider me, getting this little thing because I was just interested. And, we had our dinner and or lunch or whatever it was and headed back to their place. And when we got to their house, I put my hand in my pocket and I realized, oh my goodness, I left this in my pocket and we never paid for it. And I was already horrified. So of course I went to Mr. R to tell him the mistake I'd made. And Mr. R, God bless him, I hope he never hears this, but he did what will come as no surprise to Inga what he did, which is, well, you really shouldn't have done that, Jack. And, the stealing isn't right. And, of course, me and my little kid brain thought, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. I panicked, and I threw out the little spaceman. So shout out to the little spaceman, who unfortunately was a toy no child, to my knowledge, ever played with. But I learned whatever lesson that is, which I guess is to be absolutely terrified of doing the wrong thing and receive no sympathy from the person you're expecting sympathy from. Not a great lesson, but clearly it's the one I learned. All right. Let me know if you need any more horror stories, but I think Inga will definitely get a kick out of this because she knew what a little goody two-shoes that was. All right.
Oh,
it's so true. Oh, Jack.
Oh, Jack, it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. I'm so sorry that happened. Okay, Franklin's is this awesome little like family kind of like diner restaurant. It's like bigger now, but when we were kids, it was like a little diner restaurant, and it had this sort of 5 and dime thing attached to it. And like
the best places on earth,
right? And it was awesome. And so like you would walk around and had stuff like like jacks and balls and like dominoes, like 1950s toys.
Oh, no Beanie Babies, more Cracker Barrel.
Yes, exactly. And so like it's the kind of thing where when they say like it's a 30-minute wait, you're like, okay, kids, go look around in there.
Yeah.
Right.
The best.
Yeah, like bazooka gum.
Yes.
Like awesome. So Jack, unlike me, who was like a born degenerate, Jack was like blonde, wavy little blonde hair, big blue eyes, and just like just want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
All the time. There was a video of me throwing him into a glass door.
Oh my God.
And just like the camera shuts off.
Yeah. It's just like
comes back up, and it's just Jack like crying. And all of us trying to go to school, and I'm like laughing.
Oh, this is tip top of the morning.
First thing. It's the first day of school, which is why it's being videotaped. Yep, and my mom's like, God. Because it's the first day. All 4 of her children are walking to school together.
Sure.
Jack's going to be in like...
Not anymore.
Jack's going to be in kindergarten. Les is going to be in 6th grade. Audrey and I are somewhere in the middle. And she's out front of the house. And it's beautiful silence, like birds chirping. And then all of a sudden you hear... And then smash cut to Jack walking down.
No.
Right. So Jack is just like, we'll find the footage. So Jack is just like the sweetest little boy. And the R's, Mr. and Mrs. R.
Yeah.
Mrs. R, sweetest woman in the world. It's like if Beatrix Potter, like she's that woman embodied. Like,
wow.
Artistic watercolors, beautiful, sweet, soft voice. Her husband is not unlike my fiance in some ways.
Okay.
Like disciplined and soft-spoken and can be a little bit terrifying when he disciplines.
Yes.
And so they have 3 boys and 1 girl, and so he was used to disciplining boys.
Yep.
And his boys could get rowdy, so they needed it. Jack, I don't think has been rowdy a single day in his life.
Doesn't sound like it.
So I can picture Jack going up and be like, Excuse me. And him being like, shame on you.
Yeah, that's mortifying.
So that Jack threw it out.
I am sad that he threw it away, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't have even probably reported it. But like,
no,
if I felt shame, I would do that.
I do feel it's interesting because I do feel like I had shame I definitely had shame, but the excitement outweighed it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it had to if you did it like all the time.
Yeah, I stole in early sobriety, and my sponsor was like,
"You did that?"
She was like, "When was this?" And I was like, "Last week." And she was like, "Okay." She was like, "Oh shit! I wish I could remember what she said because it was great." But she was just like, people get in real trouble. But I leave it up to you. And I was like, heard. And I actually haven't done it since.
No way. Good for you.
Yeah, I remember the next time I was at Publix, I was just like, I'm going to the aisle with the cashier. She was like, bravo.
It's weird. Yeah, I mean, so like in closing, it is weird. Like at first, I didn't see the connection at all between honesty and sobriety. I was like, what does that have to do with how much I drink? Why would, like...
Yeah, well, I don't think we realized how much lying was happening.
Yeah.
Mostly to ourselves.
Yeah, no. Because then when I realized in every conversation, I would lie just to make something just a little bit easier.
Sure.
Like...
Notice I'm like, well, yeah.
right. Awkward silence. Lie.
Of course.
Like,
yeah.
I think I told you, I forget if I already shared this on the show, but like one time a guy, like someone who was my ex-husband's boss or partner at a law firm or something, someone like in a sort of position of authority said, were you a dancer? You kind of move like a dancer. And it made me feel really weird. Right?
Yeah.
So instead of engaging in that in any way, I just said...
I wish you had said.
Right? I said, yeah.
Well,
and he was like, what kind? And I said, ballet.
Uh-huh.
And he said, oh, really? For how long? 12 years.
Wow.
We went on to an ankle injury that I had. And Jake is, my ex-husband, standing there, and he's like, and I was like, who cares? He'll never find out. And he's like, I work here. You're going to end up teaching his kids ballet class.
I'm forgetting that this is like your partner at the time's boss.
Right. Like, where it was like, he was like, Inga, you could have just said nothing. Or the truth. No.
No.
And I was like, I feel like that would have been awkward.
It is interesting. I would have been, and we're similar in some ways where I mean, you saw my face. I'm like, if someone was like, you move like a dancer, I'd be like, what does that mean?
I know. I know. Also,
don't say it that way.
Right.
Rick. Like, ugh.
Right. Also, because it was
Have
like.
you been watching me?
Right.
Like, quit. That's my noise, and that's disappointing, but it is.
I love it. I love that that's your noise. I want that to be my ringtone. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. I don't think we really have a sign off for this. I feel like it was clearly the right topic for us because this was the first time we've ever filled the hour.
It's been an hour.
Uh-huh.
You lucky dogs.
I know. This was good. That's good because last week was 14 minutes.
That's marvelous.
Yep. Are you gonna be here next week or no? Why are you laughing?
I'm just like, sometimes I hear the noises that come out of my face, and I'm like, sometimes I laugh and it's like, and I'm like, oh God. I don't know.
Okay, so TBD. You won't know unless you watch.
I'm not planning on it, but I TBD on health and if I'm at the gym.
Ugh, I have to start going to the gym. I realized. I'm so unhappy about it.
Yeah, I realized that a long time ago, and
is it working? Is the realization or going to the gym working?
Actually, I am going to the gym once a week. And
Good for
it does
you.
make me feel better.
Oh, I hate hearing that.
It's a terrible thing to have to say.
Fine.
So
Okay.
next week, what's happening next week?
All right, so I don't know. So
Okay.
Oh, no, I know. It was going to be what we look for in a partner.
Oh.
I'm like, and specifically, I was thinking about that thing we were talking about with like dating your best friend versus dating someone with like partner qualities. And is there a difference? What does that mean? Codependency, like all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I think there's probably like a more fun way to pitch it. But basically next week would be about like, I don't want to put your stuff on blast either, but like it just being like, it's something that we've talked about.
Totally. Well, I think it's, I mean, not to do the whole thing, but it's like at what point are you looking for more than one person within one partner?
Yes.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's the proposed idea for next week. I'm going to write a article and post it tomorrow with the confirmed topic and publish it on Substack.
Cool.
All right. This was fun.
This was fun. We were giggle boxes, which feels nice.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. This is Landline. It's the last real conversation talk show. We have a talk show. Oh, and look what Eric did for us. Ta-da!
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
So we'll be here again Wednesday, 7 p.m. next week. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Bye.